because of fear. Now that fear can masquerade as being tired because being stressed out, but at the basis of stress is fear. That tiredness could be overworking, but at the basis of overworking is fear. People wouldn't overwork if they weren't afraid that they were going to go without. People are afraid they're going to go without, so they'll overwork themselves, thus becoming tired. Thus, being tired is because of fear. Now, while I'm talking about being tired, I'm not saying it's okay. People get tired. You get tired and you had a good day. You're living your purpose. You're going to get tired. You're playing outside. You're going to get tired. But I'm talking about people who are tired, like chronic fatigue. It's stress, worry, which are both based on fear. It's really interesting because the opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is fear. Hate is just distorted love, but fear is something else. Fear is at the basis of all dis-ease. Because stress is the number one cause of disease. What is stress but not the actual feeling of fear? Fear is the absence of love. And I'm not saying that some fear isn't justified. Sometimes we got to do what we got to do. So if to feed my family or to make a better life for myself, I would have to, say, drive pounds of weed across the United States of America. And the whoop whoop is up behind you. There's some fear there. You don't want to get caught. There's some fear there. It's justifiable. It's, for you, it's unjustifiable for the one causing it, though. See, this government, the police, this, that, and the other, there's no justification, no justification to cause so much panic and fear other than it's mind control. And that fear it's fear-based, trauma-based mind control. So, let's just say that there's a certain level of innocence that people are living under even though they're afraid. But that innocence also comes with some ignorance. Because in our sovereign nature, only we can allow ourselves to be afraid. Only we make the decision to be afraid. So while somebody's making us afraid deliberately, we can make the superhuman decision to not be afraid. And that's what they're most afraid of. That's the alchemy. When you're no longer afraid of your opposition, you realize that the only reason they're trying to make us afraid and control us and maneuver us and manipulate us and master over us the way they think they do. Is because they're afraid of us. And they're not afraid of the justice that would come from us, the swift hand of justice, of our own justice. There's some fear. They're afraid that we're going to treat them like they've been treating us. But the real fear that they have, they're just not accepted. They're not cool. They'll be rejected by us. And who's to say we got to accept them? If they whack people, they whack people. So they spoon feed us a distorted version of so-called Christianity, where you have to love everyone and love your enemy and look at those who oppress you and turn the other cheek and all this bullshit. Give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. They give us that and say that's the character of the Christ. So you have to accept us for who we are and what we are. Which is, we're afraid of you. For good reason. But we don't have to accept them. We don't have to take that distorted view of their so-called Christianity, which is not Christianity. It's not Christ-like. It's the devil justifying himself by distorting the words of Christ. Distorted love, that's hate. But the fear that they feel, it's real. But the fear that we feel, it's not real. It's false. There's an acronym I've heard that goes around, not sure who created it. It says FEAR. False evidence appearing real. FEAR. Fear. False evidence appearing real. So that false evidence appearing real is that what they're doing to try and make us afraid of losing our house, losing our family, losing our life. Stresses people out and just want to kind of sleep through it and try and avoid it and try and do the best we can, paying our taxes, paying our overinflated rent and car insurance, just so we can fuck a woman and have kids if you a man. You're supposed to live in fear just so you can do what nature intended for you to do. And an abundant planet with abundant resources, more than we could ever use naturally. They got us convinced that it's limited. And you're all at fault. It's all your fault. That's why we're here. It's your fault. You need the police. It's your fault. You need the government. It's your fault. The earth is dying. It's your fault. It's never our fault. Even though we're the motherfuckers making the decisions. They're the ones making the decisions. The government, the police, the corporations. They're making bad decisions and blaming the people. if anything. We, my nobility, as hip-hop, as hip-hoppers, we have to just be content with ourselves and not worry about what they're doing. Yeah, we'll be aware. Can't help but be aware. But the worry, which is fear, which is denial of God, we just have to recognize our own nature in this. Our own being, unafraid. When we realize that they're afraid of us, so they have to try and control us, because we are of God, which means we are God. It's game over for them. And really, we only need 100, 200 of us to figure this out. For real, for real. Like, what I'm saying tonight, to figure that out, it's game over. If it's 100 or 200 of us figuring it out, seeing it for what it is. There's a form of healing called homeopathy. And there's what's called the box flower essences. And they're what are called tinctures, which is the essence of certain flowers and, well, certain roots even. Certain things found in nature. And the energy of what they are is caught in these tinctures. It's a microdose. But when that little tiny tincture, the little microdose of tincture, which is only a few drops diluted in water, a few drops under the tongue, that little tincture is a powerful medicine for shifting the body, because it goes right to work, right where the physical matter becomes consciousness, because the flower remedy has the consciousness of the flower encoded into the water. It then enters into our physical body and encodes our water with its consciousness. And our reality as a physical being is shifted to health, love, awareness, wealth, feeling better. So that's why I say 100 to 200 of us figuring it out, seeing it for what it is. We're the tincture. We're the water code. We're the carrier of the consciousness. There it is. Peace and much love. Minister Zin Uru, 2020.